Have you ever followed all the advice on avoiding burnout only to feel more exhausted than ever? What if the real solution isn't working less, but redefining success altogether? Welcome back to the show. If you're new here, I'm Jen Vazquez, and I help busy female service providers simplify their marketing using Pinterest so that they can book more clients, grow their income, and make a bigger impact. And on this podcast, you'll also find expert interviews with actionable tips to help you tackle marketing without the overwhelm. If that sounds like your jam, please don't forget to hit subscribe either on YouTube or the podcast. And today, I am so excited today to be chatting with Maegan Megginson. Maegan is a business mentor and licensed therapist dedicated to helping entrepreneurs break free from burnout and build businesses that nourish rather than drain them. As a 7-figure business owner and healer, she blends practical strategies with a deep understanding of emotional and spiritual aspects of success. Maegan is the host of Deeply Rested, a podcast and newsletter that supports service-based entrepreneurs in prioritizing rest and sustainability. And if you're anything like me, you will dive into this video and podcast because I am always trying to keep that balance going. Welcome, Maegan.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
We focus primarily on marketing, but I do love to jump in to sort of mindset area. And I feel like this is one of those areas that is really, really important, especially for entrepreneurs who are wearing that hat and doing all the things, right?
Yeah.
It's not so easy.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful that you are incorporating conversations like this into your podcast, because I think part of what contributes to so many small business owners burning out is that we're focusing so exclusively on the strategy, on the doing, that we forget there's this whole foundation of well-being underneath that matters just as much as a successful strategy.
Yeah, and I would probably guess to a lot of small businesses, right? It's really hard. Like once you get past 2 years, you're like have a better chance or whatever. I always feel like, and the people that I've spoken to who have closed their businesses, it really does come down to this. Not as much money or getting clients, but really not enjoying what they're doing anymore because they have got out of alignment.
That's right.
You know, we all want to start a business so we can have time freedom, but somehow that always ends up going on the back burner.
Yep. Isn't that wild? It's like almost every business owner I talk to, when I ask them, like, why did you take this leap in the first place? It always has something to do with freedom and flexibility. You know, we see this like pathway to a life where we have more agency and autonomy. And then it's like, those are the first things that we sacrifice when the rubber hits the road. Yeah, it's a real problem.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you here. So let's dive in because I know everyone's excited to jump into the content and the actionable tips that we're going to get today. But I do always love to ask my guests, like, how did you get to what you're doing today from the beginning? So let us know.
Okay, well, I love a windy road, first of all. And that is absolutely true for me and my journey. So I'll give you the TLDR just so we don't spend, the whole time talking about my journey. So I started my career as a psychotherapist. I specialized in working with couples and doing sex therapy. And I did that for a little over a decade, and it was beautiful, really. I love the work. I started a group practice, which I still own, actually. And we now have like 20 plus therapists and we see clients all over the country. It's incredible.
We'll put that link down below. If that
sure.
Just
yes. The Center for Couples and Sex Therapy. Check it out. But I got to this point in my own work as a therapist where I was feeling more called to serve business owners. I could just feel that like the chapter of working with couples and working with sexuality was coming to a close. And I started business coaching. For a while, I was doing strategy-focused business coaching because that was the low-hanging fruit, right? That's what made sense to do at the time. But over the years, I was really feeling like, this isn't my lane. Like, I don't actually want to talk to you about your business strategy like that. I'm not actually interested in that. It doesn't excite me. What does excite me? I had to do this deep internal kind of searching process to figure out like what was missing for me. And what I discovered was that my soul really wanted to blend these worlds, really wanted to blend the space that I had come from, where I was a healer, right? I was focusing on relationships and connection and personal growth and healing our own wounds and blending that with what it takes to be a successful small business owner in the world. So I spent time really thinking about how do I weave these pieces together so that I can meet business owners on this plane, right? This, what you and I are talking about right now, this foundational piece of who am I and what do I want for my life? And how can I make sure that I'm creating a business that really supports me in being strong and well and happy? And that led to what I do today, which I call holistic business coaching, where I'm really blending the personal, the spiritual, and the professional together into one cohesive mix.
That sounds beautiful and necessary.
Yes.
I don't feel like business owners, they tend to focus a lot, like you're saying, on the strategy, on how to get more clients or visibility or all those things. And like you said, sometimes, how we feel or our stresses or lack of self-care, you name it, tends to go on the back burner. So I'm really happy that we're having this conversation today.
I don't know if you've ever heard this quote. I didn't make it up, but I love it. It's 99% of business problems are personal problems in disguise.
Whoa.
I don't know who said it first. I heard it from a bunch of different places. But this idea
That's so good.
that so many of the things that we struggle with as small business owners, we want to believe it's as simple as finding a new marketing strategy or, using a different sales funnel. And maybe it is. But more often than not, it's a lot deeper than that. It has something to do with you and your own personal growth journey in this lifetime. Those are the conversations that get me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, even like finances in your business, it can often come back to your mindset.
Definitely.
I think that's brilliant, and I literally am going to write this down. This is great.
Love it.
So you say that a lot of common burnout advice actually tends to make things worse.
So bad.
So what are some sort of top 3 myths about burnout that entrepreneurs should really know or unlearn?
Well, one thing you should know about me as I launch into my TED Talk about bad burnout advice is that at my core and at the core of my business, I really celebrate anti-capitalist values. So everything I do is about being deeply rested. It's about creating beautiful, holistic businesses that support our lives. And in order to do that, we really have to examine the system of capitalism in which we are participating. It's okay that we're participating. We don't have a choice not to participate. But I think it's really important that we look at the ways in which capitalism has trained us to treat our businesses and our bodies like machines, right? Like we're robots. So much of what we hear and absorb in our society about business and about success has to do with never-ending productivity, the never-ending search for more. So I start there because these myths are really connected to this larger oppressive system of capitalism that we're living in. Okay, so the first myth about burnout is that it's your fault, right? That you are burned out because fill in the blank, because you're working too many hours, because you have too many clients, because you don't have good enough boundaries, right? Because you say whatever, fill in the blank. It's I'm burned out because I fill in the blank. Whatever you say next is a myth. I wish I had like a red button. I'm like some kind of buzzer I could hit for a sound effect. No, incorrect. That is a myth. Like, sure, are you making decisions that you're going to have to maybe tweak and change? Yes. But it's not your fault that you're burned out. You're burned out because you have been raised in this system of capitalism that has tricked you into believing that you are capable of acting like a robot. And you're not. So it's really important, first and foremost, that we learn how to point the finger to the blame where it actually belongs. And that finger should not be pointed at yourself.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
That's good.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
That's really, really, I think I needed to hear that.
Oh, good, Jen.
That's a really good, I'm so happy that others are going to hear this.
I mean, Jen, I'm curious. I'll share one for me too, but is there like a narrative that you can default to when you're feeling stressed? Like, oh, it's my fault because?
Oh, yeah, I need to work more. It's my fault because I'm not working enough.
I'm not working hard
And now,
enough.
and I'm really good. I take every Tuesday off to play on the ground with my grandchildren. Like, that's my holy grail. Nobody's taking that from me. But because of that, I do have to work a little longer hours on the
Mm-hmm.
other days of the week. Sometimes I work on the weekends. I try to do, but if I'm behind,
Yes.
it's because I didn't work hard
Wow.
enough.
Okay. Thank you so
Instead
much for
of
sharing that.
setting my schedule up accordingly. So,
Uh-huh.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll hear myself saying when I'm stressed and burned out sometimes like, well, it's your fault because you've said yes to too many things.
I
You've
would say
overcommitted.
yes to that too. I'm like, I have 8 appointments on my calendar today. Who did that?
Right.
Me.
Me. Right. Oh, it's your fault because you're a perfectionist. If you just stop being a
Oh,
perfectionist, you wouldn't be so burned out. Right? There is these slippery slopes, right? Where
right.
we're naming things in our businesses that might need a little bit of attention, but we're naming them in a way that's so profoundly self-critical, right? Where we really are
Yes.
blaming ourselves so fully for the struggle that we're having. And I'm just here to say, no, like the struggle we're having is a direct result of the capitalist patriarchy in which we are forced to participate. And that is not our fault. So you are hereby
Yes.
liberated from blaming yourself for the struggle that you're having with energy.
Already I feel better.
Great. My work here is done. I'll talk to you later.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, but I do have 2 more myths. So let me tell
Good.
you the
We
myths.
want them.
So the second myth about burnout that can be a little hard to hear, but this is the myth that in order to feel better, you need to buy a solution to your problems. In order to feel better, you need to pull out your credit card and pay someone to do something or give you something to make your life easier.
And that's not always that doesn't actually solve anything
Rarely,
oftentimes.
rarely. And let me go ahead and tell you the third myth because these 2 myths really play together. The third myth is that in order to recover from burnout, you need to do more. You need to add something to your plate. So, for example, I'll hear people say things like, "Okay, I'm really struggling with burnout. So, I'm going to take this time blocking workshop and then I'm going to join this program that's going to help me make my, funnels more efficient so that I can spend less time on them. And then I'm going to hire a virtual assistant so I can delegate some of these tasks that are causing me a lot of stress." And before you know it, your plan to help you recover from burnout has added hours and hours and hours of labor onto your
And
already
money.
overflowing schedule and money. Exactly.
Yeah, which then puts a lot of blame on revenue in your company because
Right.
you have bigger expenses.
Right. Right.
Wow.
It's like we're digging our own grave, right? It's like
Yeah.
sunk cost fallacy. The more money I spend on something, the more time I invest on something, the more I am committed to seeing that strategy all the way through. This happens for us with burnout, where we're trying so hard to feel better, but everything we're trying requires doing more, spending more, doing more, spending more. And all that's doing is keeping us spun up in this culture that got us here in the first place.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
So good. So good. There's a lot of aha moments happening for me.
Great.
And I think I'm pretty good at it. And yet I can see that I still have some more work.
Me too. Right. Yeah. We all,
Yeah.
and that's
We're
okay.
never
That's,
perfect.
yeah. That's
Like,
right.
and I know my personality is that I err on the side of working too much versus not working enough. There are people who will work less,
Yeah.
right? And but I'm feeling great about this.
And it's like I feel too that even that question, right, of like, am I working enough? Am I not working enough? Like, what's that balance? I want to jump in and say, I think that's the wrong question. I think that's the wrong
Okay.
question because I don't think it really matters. Not nearly as much as just learning, how do I just sit with myself? How do I just create a space of stillness, of quiet, where I can breathe, where I can reflect, where I can take a walk and kind of notice what's happening in nature? What does nature have to teach me right now? Often, like when we create space for ourselves to tune into our own intuition, our own inner wisdom, all of the things that we thought we needed to do to feel better just sort of dissolve. they just sort of like float away on the breeze because you're tapping in to a much deeper well of wisdom and information. So anyways, maybe we're getting a little off track, but
No, I think that's really smart. I pretty much do anything to not have silence.
yeah.
I'll listen to a podcast, I'll read a book, like, and yet when I take a bath, which is something that I absolutely love that really fills me up, I feel better. I'm more focused. I can get more work done when I've given myself a little love. And I know that, but I don't do it enough, I would say.
Yes. Wow. So that's so courageous of you to admit that out loud. I love it. Yes. It's like you have
It's
these
all about
moments.
learning on this podcast.
Great.
Right?
That's beautiful. I love it. I mean, sometimes you listen to podcasts or you go on podcasts and you feel like everyone is trying to be perfect. And I'm like, that's not interesting. Like that's not real.
Boring.
It's boring. Yeah. Like can we be really radically honest? And what you're saying feels like radical honesty, that I know what I need to do to really slow down and listen to myself. And I see all of the ways I default to not doing that.
Correct.
That's what we want to look at when we're struggling with burnout. Not how many hours you're working or what boundaries you need to put in place or what kind of funnels or hiring a VA. That stuff comes later.
Yeah.
We have to start with this.
Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, many service-based entrepreneurs in particular, right? They have work that they have to do for clients. They will tend to feel pressure to like work constantly to grow their business. How can they start paying themselves in rest and time freedom and happiness, not just money?
Yeah. Thank you for asking this question. I'm a service provider. I get it. I've been a service provider my entire adult life. And we are a really beautiful group of people, first of all. I just want to give us a pat on the back, right? We are here to be of service. Yes. And the world needs us. We are healers, we are helpers. And that internal drive that we have to show up, to be of service to other people is such a beautiful thing. And sometimes that beautiful thing pushes us over the edge. It becomes too much. It becomes too much. And then, I'm going to say this succinctly, but really what we're talking about here is the marriage of patriarchy and capitalism. So patriarchy, especially for female identified people and service providers in particular, teaches us, conditions us from infancy to give everything we have to other people, right? What you need doesn't matter. You're here to be of service. You're here to serve. That is all that matters. So we're carrying that weight on a cellular level. We are carrying the weight of needing to be of service to others. And then and that's amplified when our job is to be a service provider. It's amplified. And then we weave in the capitalistic pressure, which says you need to make as much money as possible, right? You need to grow your business. You need to do more, be as productive as possible. So before I say more about that, I just want us all to take one collective deep breath together. And
I don't think I take enough time to do that, by the way.
Just breathe.
That's a note for myself.
Just pause, take a deep breath, and really acknowledge and feel the weight of all of that we carry in our bodies, right? The weight of the patriarchal pressure to be of service, the weight of the capitalistic pressure to earn more, to be more, to do more. And just feel that and acknowledge it, because you can't do anything to feel better. You can't do anything to recover from burnout if you don't first spend some time really examining what's going on here. What is the landscape in which I am creating? We have to examine, we have to look at where we are in time and space. And this is where we are. Sort of feel it, be with it, take a deep breath. And for the sake of moving this podcast interview forward, I'll jump ahead and talk about
First of all, that was amazing. I don't think any business owner takes a break to do that.
Yeah.
So I think that was beautiful, and I appreciated you sharing it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me share it and for receiving it. It can be hard to hear, right? And sometimes, especially when we're really mired, the more negatively impacted we're being by these systems, the more defensive we get when people start talking about it. So if you're listening right now and you're feeling irritated, agitated, a little pissed off, you're thinking about you're thinking about flipping to something else, like, I just really, with so much love, invite you to think about, like, in what ways are you being harmed by these systems? Because it's real. It's real. So it's real for all of us. We're taking a breath, we're slowing down, and then we pivot to this question, well, what can I do to change it? Right? Because when we're looking at these larger systems, it can be pretty overwhelming, right? It's easy to just collapse into fatalism, where it's like, well, so too bad, like, I guess this is just how it's going to be. Okay, I get it. No, we can make different choices. So I want to talk about just one reframe that I think as business owners we can latch onto that helps us begin to decondition from some of these beliefs, some of these ways of operating. So for me, for my clients, that reframe is that your business exists to serve you first and your clients second.
Wow.
Just like take that in for a second. Notice like how it lands for you emotionally.
That feels, I'm resistant to that.
Yes, totally. Do you want to say why?
Yeah, yes, but I think it's because I have a mindset of service, and I'm a mom of 4, and I feel like I always want to help others for, like,
Right.
The whole thing with put the oxygen mask on yourself first before your child.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't get that. I know it's real and it's valid, and please do that, you guys, if you're on a plane. But that feels, I think it's smart. I actually agree with it. And I need to probably internalize that a little bit.
Right, exactly. It's an opportunity to notice the default conditioning, right? To notice that patriarchal conditioning, which says like, hey, as a woman, as a service provider, you get to put your mask on last, if at all. Right?
Yeah.
So don't point the finger at yourself, right? Don't blame yourself. This is not your fault. This is what you have been conditioned to believe. This is how you've been conditioned to behave. And the same is true for business owners, right? The same, just like you're saying, like the way that you operate with your kids, very similar to how you operate in your business. So almost all of us, small business owners, we are operating under the framework, if you will, that the business that we're running needs to make money. Right. So I have hands up on my eyes, like horse blinders.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
It's like horse blinders. Like the only metric of success that matters is making money. And you make money by serving other people. So we get caught on this hamster wheel, right? Where we're just so focused on like serving others, making money, serving others, making money. And when we're lost in this hamster wheel, what we start to forget to take a look at is ourself, right? What are my needs?
We're not even considered when we think about our business sometimes.
Right. We're not even part of the equation, right? Exactly. That is so real. We are not even part of the equation. So this reframe that your business is for you, not your clients. The second part of that reframe is a reminder that your clients are beneficiaries of your business. Your bank account is a beneficiary of your business, right? So like the whole world is going to benefit because of the work that I'm doing. But the business itself actually exists to serve me and my life. That is the equivalent of putting my oxygen mask on first.
That's so good. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Great.
So I'm very excited to hear it.
Not great. That
Like it
you've
takes
never
a little bit of the pressure off.
Yes.
From the way that we tend to think.
Yeah.
Or at least it did to me. I hope it does for you guys watching or listening.
Well, and if we could rewind back to the beginning of this conversation, remember when you were saying that like so many of us go into business because we want time freedom? Yeah. So think about that. I think this is what I always ask my clients, like, okay, let's go back in time to paint the picture for me. When you were sitting in your 9 to 5 and you were thinking about starting your own business, what was the fantasy? Paint me a picture. And it always has to do with freedom, flexibility, autonomy, agency. And like we said earlier, they're the first things that we sacrifice when we're growing a business. So really, when I offer you this reframe, your business is for you first and your client second, I'm just taking you back to where you started.
Gosh, you're just saying back to us what we said to ourselves.
Exactly. And
many years ago.
Many moons ago. And highlighting why we lost ourselves on the journey.
Yeah.
And reminding you that it's not your fault that you lost yourself. This is the conditioning that we are set up to believe.
I love that. Don't point the finger at yourself. I love that because it's so easy to do.
So to get practical about it, let's say that you're on board with the reframe, you're ready to change things, you're ready to put yourself first. What do you do? This is where I want to offer you the mantra, rest is revenue. So we think a lot about money as revenue, right? What are we generating? Money. Okay, great. Yes, that's good. Money's not the enemy here. Money's fine. We can make money. We don't need to feel bad about that. But what if we're also generating rest? What if we're also generating space and time to play with our grandkids and go on vacation and cook a healthy meal and take a yoga class at 11:30 in the morning? Rest for me is any activity that regulates my nervous system and recharges my batteries. I want to regulate and I want to recharge. And the activities that help me regulate and recharge are going to be totally different than they are for you. So there's no one size fits all approach here. But what I want you to start to think about is that your business, because it exists to serve you first and foremost, needs to pay you in time and resources to rest in a way that fully fuels you so that you can live a happy life. And as a result, this is where it becomes really symbiotic and I get very excited about it. As a result, you are going to be able to do your best work in the world. To be clear, I'm not resting so that I can do more good work in the world.
No, you're giving back to yourself.
And then a beautiful benefit is that often that means that I actually have the resources and the bandwidth to show up and do more beautiful work in the world. So now we really are creating this incredible positive feedback loop where everybody wins. That's the world I want to live in.
I feel like the business ideas that I get that like are the best thing that happened to my business, or the service that I created, it's all when I'm not working.
Yeah.
Like none of my work ideas come when I'm working. Mm-hmm. So on Tuesdays when I play with my grandkids, I cannot tell you how many times I'm driving back home and I'm like voice texting myself all the different things that like popped into my head as I'm playing with them, right? I'm doing what I love and what I enjoy.
I love that.
But it actually benefits my business.
Yeah.
It truly, truly does.
That's right.
Especially when something in my business makes me nervous or scared, like being a podcast guest or doing a speaking engagement or things like that. I've now learned over the years to lean in when I'm nervous about something and to really go deep inside and see if I'm nervous because it's not a good idea or if I'm nervous because it's different than I normally do.
Yes.
And oftentimes when I lean in, it's always better for my business.
I love that so much. You're reminding me of like one of my favorite reminders for myself. It's like your biggest breakthroughs happen when your laptop is closed.
I know.
Yeah. In the bathtub, playing with kids, walking in the park. Like this is
singing karaoke with my daughter.
Love that. Yeah. Singing karaoke, playing. It's like our biggest breakthroughs come when we're resting, when we're playing or
on vacation or even sick, right? Where you're almost forced to take time off.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And I think that the best thing we can do, the greatest gift that we can give ourselves as business owners is permission to build that into our business model. So it's not a luxury to rest, to play. It's not something that we have to schedule before work or after work or on the weekends. No, it gets to be integrated into the tapestry of our businesses so that everything we're doing and creating is in service of the greater good, my client's greater good, and by extension,
And
the
whatever's
greater
good
good
for
of the whole
us,
world.
yeah, whatever's good for us will be good for our business.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I know for sure.
I love that.
I just don't listen sometimes. I mean,
Yes, and again, it's not your fault.
I don't
It's not
think,
your
yeah,
fault.
you're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. So I know that you've talked about sort of rewriting the rules of success in life as well as business. What does that like look like and how can someone begin making that shift today?
Everything we've talked about up to this point is what it looks like, right? What does it mean to rewrite the rules of success? Well, first, let's make an order of operations, okay? Step 1, slow down, take a deep breath.
Yes.
Step 2, like really examine what is going on in my life right now and why. What systems are at play? What rules am I following? Right? You have to do that self-reflection process so that you know what you're working with. And then step 3, choose a different rule. Choose what rules you want to throw out. Choose what systems don't align for you. Look at the ways in which your business is draining you and not, filling you up. And then say, well, what do I want to do differently? Is it that I want rest as revenue? I want to build in rest and play into my business. Is it something else entirely? Again, it's going to be as unique as your fingerprint, but you have to go through this process of reflecting, identifying what you don't agree with, and deciding what you want to do instead. And then making little micro shifts. That's the last thing I'll say. It's just a disclaimer, heads up, pro tip. Micro shifts are what we're aiming for here. Don't try to completely turn your world upside down overnight. That's going to overwhelm you. Where can you make little tiny tweaks one day at a time, persistently? And over the years, you will begin to transform the landscape of your entire life. That's what we're aiming for here. Micro shifts, a little bit over time. Keep it easy.
Yeah. A friend of mine always says, just be 1% better in whatever area you're working on in yourself or your business. Yeah. Just 1% better. Don't think about the whole 100% change that you want. Just start with that 1%.
Yeah, that'll shut you down, right?
Yeah, immediately it does. I'm like, oh, that's not working, and I go right back.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I mean, and that is the perfectionist behaviors inside of me, right? That once I know what the vision is,
I want it, and I want it now.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, what's the fastest path to that reality? Yes. And we gotta walk that back and be like, it's great to know the vision. It's great to know kind of what you're moving towards. I love that. But what we have to really root ourselves into is, where am I right now? And what changes am I resourced to make in this moment? And then I just have to meet myself one step at a time. Let's lower the bar.
We just keep having these mic drop moments. I'm very excited about this
Great
podcast. Okay, so let's say somebody that's listening today is like, okay, I'm on board. What you said hit me hard. Yeah. How can that person sort of integrate rest and ease into their businesses while still trying to maintain financial success? Because of course that's always what people will come back to, especially full-time, having your own business full-time. Yeah. That is something hard.
I get it. And I just want to name for listeners who are feeling resistant, I have been the sole breadwinner for my family for a very long time. So I understand the pressure, the financial pressure, the burden of feeling like it's on me. It's on me. I don't have the luxury of not making money and then just being like, well, that's okay. My money is more of a benefit for the family than a necessity. No, my money is the only money. So I want to really validate and honor all parts of you that are saying, I feel burden, I feel pressure. That's okay. That's okay. Because we're making tiny micro shifts, we don't have to sacrifice our ability to make money. What I want to encourage you to do is to find a really tiny way that you can change one rule, right? One rule in your life, in your business that doesn't feel quite right for you. If you want a really specific exercise, take it or leave it. Something I have folks do after doing a workshop with me or a session is look at their calendar, open up your calendar, and find the next opportunity on your calendar where you can block off a 2-hour window on your schedule. 2 hours, not 1 hour in 2 chunks, 2 consecutive hours together.
you like read my
yeah. I know how this goes.
I could put an hour
I know
here.
this dance. Yeah, no. 2 hours back to back.
Got it.
So the next time in your schedule, you have 2 hours free. Even if like that's for a client, I don't care what it's for. Block it off and put rest. It might be 2 weeks from now. It might be 2 months from now. I don't care when it is. Part of what you're doing is building the muscle of prioritizing time for yourself. So block it off on your calendar. And then when that time arrives, I want you to check in with your body with some deep breaths and just see like, what do I need right now? What do I need? Do I need movement? Do I need to do an exercise video or like a yoga
or
YouTube?
Fresh air, like a walk or whatever?
Do I want to go outside? Yeah. Do I need to like call spontaneously a friend and have a chat? Like, wow, who does that anymore? Do I need a nap? What do I need? Do I need a dance? Do I need to draw? What do I need? We go quiet, going back to being quiet, which can be hard.
Yes.
I'm going to get quiet. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to talk to myself. What do I need? And I'm going to give that to myself in that 2-hour block. And the whole time, I'm going to remind myself that I am working right now. I am working. This is my job today. My business is paying me to do this right now.
Oh, that's so good.
And that practice, right? That is the practice of deconditioning, of rewiring the neural pathways that we have been reinforcing our entire lives. So we start small and we build. It's just like going to the gym, right? You don't go to the gym after 10 years and then be like, I'm going to run 10 miles on the treadmill. No, that's stupid. You go and you stretch and you like consider getting on the treadmill and then you don't get on the treadmill and then you don't go back to, right? Okay. We know the dance. It's the same way when we're making these changes. Can you just be so tiny and so manageable and be so kind to yourself, but let it be on your mind, right? Think about it. Be aware of it. It's the tiny shifts over time, strengthening these muscles over time that leads to the biggest transformation. There is no 5-step checklist to get out of burnout. It doesn't exist. I'm sorry. It's not real. It's not real.
That's so good. One thing that I started doing mid-year last year that I'm just thinking would be also something that someone can probably do too is when I get my hair done and I started getting monthly facials because I'm like going to be 57. So I'm like, I got to be taking care of myself, right? But what I found by doing that and scheduling it during the day, which was a big step for me. I'm like, oh, I could be working right now, right? Nope, I'm schedule it during the day. Is that it's a self-care that I never give myself, and I am now, but I'm also I'm like kind of breaking the rules. I mean, I know there's no rules, right? It's my business. That's the glory of having your own business. But it's literally took me I think it's been like 6 months now. And I'm now I feel good with it. So if you try to do something like this that was suggested and it doesn't quite feel right, don't never do it again. Maybe do it each month, find 2 hours and just check in with yourself. Because I feel like over time,
right,
it becomes okay. I don't know how else to say that.
It's like playing hooky, right?
Yes.
From school, and you're like, oh, I'm breaking the I hope nobody sees me. You know, like I'm gonna get in trouble. But again, it's if we go back to the gym metaphor, right? If say you want to start lifting weights, you know, you have to start with a 1-pounder, and then over time you can maybe lift a 20-pound. And I think you get sore too. I mean, think about that. Yeah. Like you're
and you consider canceling,
right? You go
like I went through all the things.
Yep. You got it. Be kind to yourself.
So
it's okay if it's uncomfortable. Yeah. It's okay if it hurts a little bit. There should be a stretch. You should feel discomfort when you do this. The discomfort is the sign that you're changing something. That's beautiful. Discomfort is an incredible thing. We don't want it to hurt. but you want to feel a little stretch. And I love that example. I am so thrilled to hear you do these spa dates for yourself in the middle of the day.
I mean, it took 6 months to to continue though.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Great.
and again, I get all kinds of business ideas when I'm doing it. So it'll be worth your business, I promise.
Yeah.
All right. As we're wrapping up here, before we get to the gift that you are sharing with our audience, tell everyone about the service that you provide in case anybody's been listening and going, oh my gosh, I love listening to your voice. It's very comforting, and I'm sure everyone else feels the same. But if they need help and they're like, I need Maegan's help, how can they work with you?
Yeah, thank you so much for asking me that question. I want to say that reinforcing this whole conversation, what's most important if you're interested in these ideas that Jen and I have talked about today is repetition and community, right? It's crucial when you're making these changes that you are with other people who are also making these changes. It's hard. People in our life, they don't get it, right? They judge us. They maybe, they push back. Like, you have to be in communities with people who are saying, yes, you can do this. I'm doing this too. So there are 2 ways to connect with me, to keep these conversations going, to feel like you're part of a community. You can hop over and listen to the Deeply Rested podcast, which is a great way just to deepen this conversation and to listen to it from different angles. So there's the Deeply Rested podcast. And I would love for you to join the Deeply Rested newsletter. So this is the email community where we're sharing stories and making sure that we all feel connected as we're doing this work together. You can subscribe to deeplyrested.com/newsletter, or you can just go to deeplyrested.com to learn more about me and my one-on-one coaching services.
That is awesome. And tell everyone what your freebie is that you're offering for everyone today.
Yeah, so I have a free email series. It's called Recover from Burnout. It's a 10-day email series. It's going to give you really actionable ideas about how you can start recovering from burnout without doing anything or buying anything. So it just builds on everything you and I talked about today, just to help your mind open up some new pathways, open up some new opportunities to think about how you can care for yourself and really recover from the burnout that you're experiencing with so much ease.
I love that. And I agree with you. Community is everything. Tell a friend, tell a biz bestie that you're going to make a change and find out what she's going to make a change with. You're going to, because there's a little bit to having an accountability partner when you want to bail.
Yes.
And for people who like us, we want to serve people. If we're being that accountability to somebody, we're going to more likely do it for ourselves because we're going to be supporting them. So that would be
brilliant
great.
Advice. Totally agree.
Thank you so much for your valuable advice and your time today. If everybody listening or watching found some ideas and tips that you could really implement in your business, we would love for you to leave a review. We want to hear from you that you loved this podcast, and go out there now and do something good for your business, like snagging Maegan's gift and putting those 2 hours on your calendar.
Yes.
Go do that. Now you're probably out driving your kids to school or taking a walk. When you get to a spot where you can, definitely go subscribe, get that freebie, but go to your calendar and put those 2 hours on there. You will be very thankful that you did. All right.